The phone rang in my chambers, piercing the quiet of a Tuesday afternoon. My daughter Sophie's name lit up the screen, her voice trembling through the speaker. "Dad, there's this lady yelling at me and Mrs. Alvarez at Grandpa Henry's ranch. She says I'm trespassing and she's calling the police." My heart froze. Sophie, my 12-year-old, was at our family's lakeside ranch, a haven where she tended her great-grandfather's horses to keep his memory alive. 6 months ago, Henry's heart gave out, leaving Sophie with guilt for not being there. The ranch, with its rolling pastures and gentle mares, was her refuge. Now, Victoria Langston, the HOA president, was staring into her, calling her a criminal. Through the phone, I heard Victoria's voice, sharp as a blade. "This property is abandoned. I don't care about your sub-story, it's a safety hazard." Sophie whispered, "Maybe she's right, Dad. Maybe I shouldn't come here." Her doubt, laced with grief, ignited a protective fury in me, Judge Nathan Codwell, tempered by 20 years on the bench. I grabbed my keys, already calculating the legal weight of Victoria's actions. She didn't know the ranch was mine, its deed sealed in probate, or that I'd signed the permits allowing those horses to stay. She was about to learn. I sped toward Willow Lake Ranch, sirens wailing in the distance as Victoria made good on her threat. Sophie's fear, "Dad, the police are coming," cut deeper than any courtroom loss. Victoria, new to the neighborhood and freshly divorced, had thrown herself into HOA control with a vengeance. I'd heard whispers at the courthouse of her petty crusades, but this was war. She targeted my grieving daughter, twisting her love for Henry into a crime. As I pulled into the ranch's gravel drive, the scene was worse than I'd feared. Victoria stood like a dictator, phone on speaker, broadcasting her 911 call. "There's a minor trespassing at 1247 Lakeshore Drive, engaging in suspicious activities with large animals. It's dangerous, she could be stealing them." Her lies painted Sophie as a mastermind, her pink backpack a bag of contraband. Mrs. Maria Alvarez, Henry's old friend and neighbor, stood protectively by Sophie, who clutched apple slices for the horses. Butterscotch, a mare Henry rescued, nuzzled Sophie's arm, oblivious to the chaos. Maria's voice was steady but strained. "This girl's been coming here since her grandpa died. She's just honoring him." Victoria snapped, "I don't care about emotions. This is about property values and lawsuits." Deputy Ryan Holt arrived, strutting with the overzealous swagger of a rookie. His hand hovered near his holster, eyes locking onto Sophie like she was a fugitive. "Step away from the animals, young lady. Show me that backpack. This is a trespassing investigation." Sophie's tears fell as she stammered, "This was Grandpa's ranch. I'm just feeding Butterscotch like he taught me." Holt dismissed her, echoing Victoria's abandoned property narrative. I stepped forward, leather portfolio in hand. "Deputy Holt, there's a mistake. This ranch is mine, legally inherited. Here's the deed and permits." He barely glanced at them, scoffing, "Anyone can fake papers. She needs to leave until we verify." Victoria seized the moment, "Those documents are fraudulent. This is a corruption scheme using a kid to dodge responsibility. Arrest them." Her audacity demanding arrest for legal ownership was breathtaking. Sophie's voice broke, "Dad, maybe I'm causing trouble for you." Her words stilled my resolve. This wasn't just about land, it was about teaching Sophie that bullies don't win. I called Sheriff Tom Brennan, my old friend and Holt's boss. "Tom, it's Nathan. I need you at the ranch. We've got a problem involving Sophie." Holt's confidence wavered, sensing the shift. When Tom's cruiser rolled in, his weathered face scanned the scene with seasoned clarity. "Nathan, what's this about harassing Sophie?" Holt fumbled through his report, citing the trespassing and animal endangerment, but Tom's eyes narrowed. He knew Henry, a Vietnam vet who turned the ranch into a sanctuary for abused horses and local kids. Maria spoke up, "Sheriff, Victoria's been harassing this family for months, even before Henry died, pressuring him to sell." The revelation hit hard. Victoria hadn't just targeted Sophie, she tormented a dying man. Victoria, undeterred, pulled out her phone and went live on social media, framing herself as a crusader against corruption. "I'm exposing a scam at Willow Lake Ranch. These people claim abandoned property, and the police are letting them off." Her voice dripped with righteous fury, but the comments turned fast. "That's Henry's granddaughter. Why harass a kid?" Maria countered with her own live stream. "This is Sophie, caring for her grandpa's horses. She's keeping his legacy alive." Tommy Lee, a 10-year-old Henry had mentored, arrived with his mom, adding, "Mr. Henry said hurt people, but love people. Maybe MS. Langston's just hurt." His words, simple yet piercing, fueled the growing online outrage. Hashtags like Let Sophie Grieve trended, with veterans and animal rescues praising Henry's legacy. Victoria's stream became her undoing, exposing her cruelty to a digital audience. Councilwoman Ellen Harper arrived, her face grim. "Sheriff, the HOA board's in emergency session. We voted to remove MS. Langston as president due to her harassment of Sophie and prior complaints about Henry." Over 200 residents had called, furious at Victoria's attack on a grieving child. Ellen continued, "She pressured Henry for months to sell, claiming his horses hurt property values." Victoria's denials, "This is a conspiracy," sounded hollow as her live stream captured her unraveling. "I faced her, voice steady, MS. Langston, end this stream and accept community service, or face charges for harassment, false reporting, and emotional distress against a minor." Her eyes flashed with defiance. "I'll see you in court." 3 minutes later, Tom snapped cuffs on her wrist, charging her with obstruction of civil rights and false accusations. Sophie watched, wide-eyed, learning justice could protect the innocent. The trial, a week later, packed the courthouse with veterans, families, and neighbors. As judge, I presided ethically, a victim not an investigator. The prosecution presented Victoria's live stream, 911 call, and forged documents claiming the ranch as abandoned evidence of a scheme to force a sale. Maria detailed Victoria's months-long harassment of Henry, and Tommy Lee testified, "Mr. Henry said horses know when you're scared. MS. Langston must be scared to be so mean." Sophie's victim impact statement stunned the room, "I know MS. Langston hurt Grandpa and me, but maybe she's hurting too. Grandpa would want her to learn from horses, not just go to jail. Her compassion inspired my sentence, 30 days in jail, time served, 200 hours at animal rescues, grief counseling, and restitution for Sophie's therapy." Victoria's attorney gaped, but the courtroom nodded in approval. 6 months later, the ranch thrived as the Henry Caldwell Memorial Haven, a protected space for kids and veterans. Sophie ran weekend programs, her grief-fueling purpose. Victoria, transformed by her service, mocked stalls and taught kids to brush horses, her once imperious demeanor softened. One Saturday, I found her guiding a shy boy with butterscotch, her voice gentle. She nodded at me, a flicker of respect in her eyes. The community healed kids' road, veterans found peace, and a former tyrant learned care over control. Sophie's wisdom had turned pain into redemption. But as I watched her with the horses, a shadow lingered. Could justice this hard one ever fully mend a child's heart?